Oh, it might help if I get rid of that. Oh, sorry about that. This has been a crazy part. Welcome to the Watchtower, everybody. Yes, welcome here. Um, I was in a mad rush to try and get everything done and ready to go, and yeah, I was running way behind on this, and yeah, so everything's already fallen apart. Everything's already off the rails. But anyways, glad you guys could join me. Welcome to the Watchtower podcast, episode 79. So yeah, welcome. Glad you guys could be here. Hopefully, you guys are having a good Tuesday. I'm still trying to just calm down and get this going. So yeah, so glad you guys could be here. Glad. Oh man, I would say glad that we're still here, but I'm not. I'm ready to go home. I don't know about you guys, but anyways, each day is a blessing from the Lord. So, but yeah, glad you guys are here. Okay, calm down. Here we go. I gotta get focused here. Like I said, sorry guys, it's been a mad rush to try and get this going. So okay, but anyways, all right. So we are here. This is episode 79, plugged in. We've got some stuff to talk about coming up. We got some Israel news. We're going to be talking about some of the new government people that Netanyahu has put in place and what they are already doing. So we're going to be talking about that. We've also got some stuff off the top of my head here. We're going to be talking about 6G network. I know many people are still trying to figure out 5G. Oh, 5G just came in and everybody's trying. There's all these different ideas about what it is and whatnot. Well, I think the important one is 6G. So we're going to be talking about 6G because there's been some news already on that. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to be talking about this project called Project Rosalind coming from the Bank of England as well as the Bank of International Settlements. So we're going to be talking about that. We're also going to be talking about how the connection of AI, demonic intelligence, and blockchain are going to be working together. And then we're going to finish it off regarding media, quote unquote Christian media, and how it is fooling the undiscerning people out there. So we're going to be talking about that as well, and some other stuff as we roll along, like we always do. So that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. Sorry, guys. Okay, so before getting into everything, the usual spiel. If you can, like, share, and subscribe. Of course, it's not about growing numbers. It's not about, like the old saying, getting as many butts and seats as possible. But it is important that we get this information out for people to see. And hopefully we can reach some people with the gospel and maybe answer some questions along the way. So like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. And then make sure you follow me on Odyssey, Rumble, and Telegram. Telegram, I put exclusive stuff on there and I let you guys know what's going on. Rumble, still trying to get to 100 subscribers. So in case something happens to the YouTube channel, I'll be able to live stream over there. And then Odyssey is just a regular backup type of thing. I am working on, I don't know when I'll get it out, but I am working on a Rumble exclusive because I got a bunch of news that I can't talk about on YouTube. So I have an exclusive Rumble video coming out. I will let you guys know on Telegram when that comes out. So all of that stuff. All right, that's all we got on that. Let's see what's going on with the chat. You guys are blasting away in this chat. Let's see what we got going on here. We got Kim. Hey everyone, has the trumpet sounded yet? I thought maybe all the thunder here made noise here. No, trumpet has not sounded quite yet. We've got Lori here. This year will be a whirlwind. Yeah, hopefully we're only going to see a very small portion of this year. I don't know about you. That's what I'm ready to see. We got Sarah in the house. Glad to see you, Sarah. Let's see. We got Ray. Good evening, everybody. Greetings from Texas. Glad to see you, Ray. Hopefully you're having a good one. Do we got anybody else in here? Let's see. Oh, yep. We got Lisa is here. Glad to see you, Lisa. Soren X is here from Australia. Man, it's Wednesday over there, right? I think it's Wednesday. Glad you are here. Hopefully you're having a good Wednesday for you, I guess. Let's see here. And then, hey, we got El Trim here. Awesome. Warm winter here in California. I'm in the mountains, and we only got rain these past storms. No snow. Pretty unusual for us. All right. Well, cool. Stay dry. Glad it's warm. And Sally snuck in. How we doing, Sally? Hopefully you're doing all right. Annette, also Maranatha. Yes, Lord, please come soon. Yep. All right. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody. If I missed somebody, I apologize. I'm trying my best. Okay, so I think it's enough of that stuff. What do you guys think? Should we get into this? I think we should get into this. We don't want to be here all night. So let's go ahead and start with Israel, because as we know, Israel is the key to prophecy. Jacob's trouble, great tribulation that's coming, it's going to be about them. So it's important that we always watch Israel and what is going on. I try my best to cover as much as I can, but I got some stuff here that I think we should at least know about here. So first things first, taking a look at some of these new government officials that Netanyahu's brought in. We've got Israel Finance Minister. I apologize with names. If you've been here before, you know I'm terrible at this stuff. Bezalel Smotrich. We're just going to call him Smotrich because I think that's easier to to do. So, Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich has withheld $39.6 million. So $39.6 million, you can transfer that to their currency amount, in tax revenue from the Palestinian Authority as a punishment for what he's saying lawfare, or like law warfare type of thing, against Israel at the International Court of Justice. So right off the bat, we're already seeing a more aggressive push towards Israel's enemies from this guy, Smotrich. And we know one of the main tasks he's going to be put up for is getting the war machine economy going for Israel. But he's already taking a fight against the Palestinian Authority by withholding tax revenue that's supposed to go from Israel to the Palestinian Authority. And he's claiming because of the lawfare, the law warfare that they've been putting on against Israel in an international court of justice, this is going to be their punishment. So we're already kind of seeing a shift compared to the past governments that we've had where they've just let things go. So Smotrich is planning to send that money instead to the victims of the Arab terrorism. I also appreciate this, that they're not even calling them Palestinians. They're actually calling them Arabs, which, if you know, there's really no such thing as Palestine. They are Arabs. So he's planning on sending that money to the victims of the Arab terrorism, and to help and it's also to help defund the Palestinian Authority's pay to slay program. So basically what is going on is this money is getting sent from Israel to the Palestinian Authority, and what they're doing is they're incentivizing terrorists to go in and start attacking Israel or Israelis, and they're paying them basically with the money that comes from Israel. Well, he's putting a knock on that, and so he's not only going to send that money to the victims of those who have been affected by the terrorism, but now he's using it to defund that pay-to-slay programs. Smotrich publicly stated that the Palestinian Authority must determine if it wants to continue to exist. If so, they will begin to focus on the Arabs in Judea and Samaria rather than funding terror. So basically he's saying, if you choose to exist, if you still want to exist, you need to take this money and actually use it to benefit the people that are in Judea and Samaria rather than funding terror. Because as we know, the people who live in that area, they are getting, Israel is getting blamed for the conditions, the living conditions in that area. And so he's basically just calling it out, saying, no, that's not how this is working. Smotrich has also said if they do not wish to exist, they will return to being Israel's enemy. They're technically an enemy now, but I think that's just kind of one of those hidden threats there where if we actually want to call you an enemy, it's not going to be a good day for you. Smotrich also continued to say that Israel is done financing the Palestinian Authority's terror while pretending to be partners. Previous Israeli governments continued to play the game of best interest for Israel, while Smotrich shot it down immediately, saying the funding the enemy is not in Israel's best interest. So basically, again, this is kind of taking a shot not only at the Palestinian Authority, but this is also taking a shot at the previous government, where they, even though they knew this pay-to-slay program and all this stuff was going on, they claimed it was in Israel's best interests to just continue to fund them and allow this to go on. They were weak. They had no backbone, and they funded this stuff. And Smotrich has basically come in and said that is no longer going to happen. So this first move that he's made on this is pretty significant. Will this hold? We just have to wait and see. Right now, though, it looks like they're already taking a serious, firm stance on this. And then we've got Palestinian Authority Prime Minister Mohammed Shaitia. I'm not sure how to pronounce that last name, guys. I'm sorry. He warned, and he had an interview with left-wing Israel news source Haaretz. He warned in that interview those new sanctions would lead to the new government's collapse. So he's saying if you want to hold this aggressive stance against the Palestinian Authority, your government's probably not going to survive it. We'll see. Like I said, this is the first move, and this is rather quick after these new officials have been getting into office. Smotrich here is definitely an aggressive guy. He does not, he's not taking this stuff lightly. Will it continue? Will this start fracturing things? As we know, Israel's government, even though it may seem strong on occasion, on a rare occasion, there's always cracks involved because of how it's built and how many people are in there and all the self-interests that they want and all that stuff. So we just got to see what's going to happen with this. But right now, this is a really good first step. This is a really good first step. I'm digging this finance minister that's been picked. Now, continuing on with some of these new guys going into office for Israel, this new governmental overhaul also includes a new defense minister. His name is Yoav Gallant. I'm not sure that's how you pronounce that last name. That's how I'm going to pronounce it, Gallant. So Netanyahu has made it quite clear that eliminating Iran's nuclear program is priority 1A. Priority 1B would be establishing peace with Saudi Arabia. Those were the two main points when he was preparing before the elections and everything. When he was talking, 1A was knocking out Iran's nuclear program, and 1B was peace. So he's made it quite clear. He's done a lot of talking, a lot of threats and everything like that. Of course, politicians love to talk. We still have to wait and see if there's going to be action. But at least he's spoken this way for quite a while now. Finance Minister Smotrich already making bold moves that match Bibi's threats. New Defense Minister Gallant is the man to lead the offensive the same way. Now, who is Gallant? Gallant is known to be, and there was many generals, many servicemen, and many military correspondents that were asked about this new defense minister because they wanted to get an idea on this guy. Well, Gallant is known to be the toughest and most aggressive general that Israel has seen in ages, and they say it's not even close. This dude, the best way, from what I've read from this guy, the best way I can put it is we talked about how Putin assigned quote-unquote General Armageddon to take over the Ukraine stuff. He's super aggressive, very tactical, kind of does some questionable stuff on occasion to get things done. Well, Gallant seems to be the same way. He's kind of Israel's own General Armageddon. He's aggressive and intelligent and very brave, and if the call for either precision strikes or an all-out war, Gallant is the exact man you want leading it. That's what they're claiming about this guy. He's not going to back down. No matter what, if you want to press the button, he's first in line to press the button. Gallant is smart but will take risks. Other generals won't and will not fall under pressure or even second-guess his moves. So there's going to be none of this, well, this is risky, I don't know if we're going to do it. He's going to sit there, he's going to think about it. If it fits what he thinks is going to work, he's going to pull the trigger. That's what they're calling with this guy. So if you want a war, it sounds like this is the guy that you want leading that war. So the question is Is Netanyahu willing to pull the trigger? That's what we're waiting for. That is the big question mark in all this. He's got the guys there that seem like they're ready to make these moves and get this stuff done. But it's ultimately up to Bibi here if he's really going to make that decision. So we just got to wait and see. We got to wait and see what's going to happen with that. So those are a couple of the new guys that I think you guys need to at least know their names and their positions because they are in very important positions, and it looks like they're already making moves and they're showing their aggression. So this is definitely something to know if you're looking at what's going on in Israel. Pay attention to those names. Pay attention to those names. And then we still got some more news as far as Israel goes. So a couple weeks ago, I talked about how Oman was, they were getting their council together to possibly vote on removing the boycott against Israel, and then that would open the door to normalize ties, possibly get on board with signing with the Abraham Accords and, getting a peace deal done with Israel. Well, what we believe to be a possible opening for Oman to lift that boycott, that vote actually ended with a stricter boycott put in place. So this was kind of a 180. This was not what we were expecting at all. Iran basically pressured Oman's Consultative Assembly, which is like their lower house of their Council of Oman. So their government has the different levels to it. This is the lower house of that council, and they voted to expand its existing boycotts. After the vote, it expanded to all sports, cultural, and economic contact with any private or public Israeli person or entity in person or online is now forbidden. So what this means is, as far as like sports and stuff go, they were at least able to attend the same world sporting events and stuff like that. Well, all of that has now been banned. You can no longer communicate at all with any Israeli entity, person or company in any way. And so that has now been expanded upon. It's to be believed that what pushed Iran to pressure Oman with this vote was due to National Security Minister Ben Gvir, his trip to the Temple Mount. So I posted that in my Telegram, where he was making a very controversial, as far as the terrorists over there goes, a very controversial move by visiting the Temple Mount. Hamas has warned, that was the same time that Hamas warned that if he went to the Temple Mount, that would be considered a declaration of war. Well, they've thrown that threat out countless times, and still no war has happened. But either way, they didn't appreciate it, and it looks like there was some backdoor dealings with Oman to kind of punish Israel as far as that goes. So what we thought was going to be possibly a move in the right direction as far as maybe getting Oman involved with, peace with Israel, it just did a 180 and it's going the other direction. So that didn't really work out like we thought it was going to happen. So that's kind of the stuff I got on Israel. I know there's a lot of stuff going on out there, but that's the stuff that I think I'm going to cover as far as this goes. So hopefully things start kicking off here soon with Israel. Hopefully Netanyahu is going to be bold and actually make the moves that he needs to. He's got the people in there that will do it. Now he needs to make those decisions. So, and then also continue to watch for any deals being done with Saudi Arabia, because that's also a big thing to watch for as well. So that's what we got going on there. All right, man, you guys are talking it up in here. Let's see, what do you guys got going on? No, Lori said, "Love your shirt." Thank you, appreciate that. Yeah, I like this shirt. It's a good shirt. It's getting worn out though. I've worn it too many times. Let's see. What do we got going on? Yeah, Israel gets blamed for everything. That's the truth. Just it's unbelievable because even if you go and you start looking at the comments of some of these conservative news sites, it doesn't matter what side of the board you're on. It's always Israel's fault. Anti-Semitism is cranking up. Yep. Yeah, it just, yeah, for sure. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump over to some natural events. We're kind of in a run here where there's not a whole lot going on as far as large earthquakes. There's a few. This past week there was a 5.9 quake in the Fiji Islands, a 5.6 quake in the Balleny Islands, and then there was a 5.5 quake in the Balleny Islands as well. And then a couple big ones were a 7.0 quake in Port Olroy, Vanuatu, and a 7.6 quake in Tual, Indonesia. That was one where it was initially reported as a 7.9 with a tsunami warning issued, but then they downgraded it, and there was nothing going on as far as tsunami. So that's good for Indonesia because the past year they've been hit with a few tsunamis and they don't need any more water going over there. And then there was a 5.7 quake in Port Olroy, Vanuatu, again a couple days after that big one. There was some aftershocks, but nothing big going on there. As far as volcanoes, we got 43 volcanoes erupting as of Sunday, so that's 3 more than the past couple weeks. There's a seven in North America, 6 in South America, 2 in Europe, 3 in Antarctica, 3 in Africa, 15 in Asia, and 7 in Oceania. So nothing catastrophic on the volcanoes. They're just doing their usual stuff. And then, of course, I'm sure some of you in the chat know the bomb cyclone. Now it's a river something. Got moved to a river something. It's not river storm. It's something else. But California is still underwater. They're getting absolutely drenched. Absolutely drenched. And then they're even reporting that it is the wettest 10-day period in San Francisco in 150 years. That would be 1871 was the last day it was reported with that much water in San Francisco. Over 10 inches of rain. California is really getting slammed with water. If you look up some videos and pictures of what's going on, it's pretty bad out there. So. If it's not fires, it's water for you guys. So I'll be praying for the people in California for sure. For the rain to stop, to just relax, chill out. Don't chill out because then it becomes snow. And okay. Anyways, moving on. All right, that's all I got as far as natural events and stuff going on. So. Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and start getting into the main meat of our podcast. And we're going to take a look at what is going on as far as being plugged in, connecting humans to machines. This is that transhumanism stuff, but this is more about the network and why 6G is important. And yeah, again, I know I said 5G is still technically rolling out. People have a bunch of different theories about what 5G is used for and whatnot. I'm not saying any are wrong or right. I mean, right now, all we can do is just look at theories, possible theories. But they're preparing for 6G, and 6G is going to be the big one. 6G is going to be the big one. So before we actually get into that, we're going to do a little history class. Now, when it comes to technology, how I look at it, because as we know, they always hide things from us. They've got things that we don't know about. They've got things that are way more advanced that we don't know about. So the best way I put it is the technology that they have is at least 10 years more advanced than what the technology they allow us to see. So what we see now, the stuff that they've got hidden that we can't see, is at least 10 years ahead. than what we see now. That's the best way to look at it. And I apply that towards technology. I apply that towards medicine. I apply that towards a lot of things. So that's probably the best way to look at it. Now, little history class, the Internet of Bodies. So we talk about the Internet of Things a lot because I think it doesn't get talked about enough. It's literally the network that controls all of the other stuff out there. And I think we need to understand what the Internet of Things is and really have a grasp on it. So we need to talk about that more. Well, the Internet of Bodies is an extension of the Internet of Things. It's like it's an arm or leg, you know, it's a limb that branches off of it. It's part of the Internet of Things. The Internet of Bodies is going to be a part of that technology. That's how I always talk about with the Internet of Things. It's going to create a digital twin of you. It's going to have a digital profile of you where it knows more about you than you know about yourself. Well, that's the Internet of Bodies being part of that Internet of Things. And it's going to have you connected to a central database that's also going to be connected to everything else. Your smart cities, your smart cars, appliances, all that stuff. So we've talked about that before. So your body will be connected to the Internet of Things network through a device in your body. And once connected, data can be exchanged. The device and or body can be remotely monitored and controlled by whoever's in control of it. I'm starting to think that it's going to be AI that's going to be in control of this, maybe not necessarily people. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But you're looking at your systems like your BCI systems, your brain computer interfaces. That's the stuff that Neuralink, like Musk is working on, or BlackRock Neurotech, Synchron, stuff like that, and technology, like I said, that we haven't seen yet. I think it's also going to be a part of the mark of the beast that we get. Now, how it works is there's 3 steps to the Internet of Bodies. We're already past 2, going into 3. So the first one would be your external Internet of Bodies stuff, like your Apple Watch and your Fitbits. That stuff is able to like read your heartbeat and stuff just by having it on you like a bracelet and whatnot. Then there's the internal stuff like your pacemakers, your hearing implants, stuff like that, that monitors and keeps track of your body by being in you. You're probably thinking, okay, what is the next step? Well, the next one is embedded. Embedded is literally the melding of man and machine. It is the next step of, it's going to be a part of you. It's going to be embedded into your DNA. So it's not an internal object getting put in you. It's going to be embedded into you. And that would even technically be classified. We talked about it a week or 2 ago, I can't remember exactly, where there was a guy who was working on getting the nanoparticles into your brain, and those are supposed that DARPA is working on. That's going to be able to do the same thing that Neuralink and Synchron and stuff they're working on, but they're going to be little nanoparticles in your brain. That would be considered embedding into your brain. So that is what they're doing now. That is the next step. So, coming out of the University of Massachusetts Amherst is the next step for creating the wireless network. So we're out of history class now, and this is what they're working on now. So coming out of the university is the next step for creating the wireless network to connect these embedded Internet of Bodies devices to that Internet of Things network. While people are still trying to figure out what's going on with 5G, it's 6G. Again, 6G is the important part. It's fun to talk about what possibly 5G could be used for, but 6G is the important part here because I think that's the thing that's going to run all of this. They plan, and we've talked about this before. We've talked about this thing before when we talked about the ectolife, the artificial womb stuff. They plan on using the human body as a power source. We talked about a theory with ectolife where if they're going to have these babies in these artificial wombs, they could actually be using that body energy as a power source. Well, and then we talked about how that's basically what happens in the Matrix. We know they use movies and media and all this stuff to they tell you what's coming. And in the Matrix, they have the same thing planned, and where they use the machines, the AI machines took over, and they use human body energy to power everything. So a human is basically a battery. Well, they're talking about doing that with 6G. They plan on using the human body as a power source. 6G telecommunications can use what they call visible light communication. Visible light communication, or VLC. This is really important. This is really important. VLC is like a wireless version of fiber optics. Okay, so if you don't know what fiber optics are that the next step to get really, really, really high-speed internet. Not everywhere in America has it, but it's like super fast internet. And what they're talking about with VLC, it's a wireless version of fiber optics that uses flashes of light to transmit information. So how the network uses it now is radio frequency. That's why we have like those towers everywhere. It's all using radio frequency, whether it's bouncing off satellites or just regular frequencies. Well, 5G still uses that. They're talking about 6G is going to surpass, you're not going to need radio stuff anymore, and it's going to be through light. So simply put, no longer using radio signals, it uses LED lights, your basic LED lights. LEDs can turn off and on up to 1 million times per second, and each flash of light can send information through it. The reason VLC is wanted in this way is because the LED infrastructure, here we go guys, this is the connection of Internet of Things and smart cities. So here we go. The reason VLC is wanted is because the LED infrastructure is already built. They've been building it for years. It's already here. We're talking about LED lights on homes, LED lights on your vehicles, LED lights on your street lights, your buildings, your electronic billboard signs. That's all of your smart city infrastructure. Also, you have LED lights that are a part of on your phone. Like your phone screen and stuff uses LED. Your TV uses LED. All of that stuff already has built-in LED lights. They can use all of that for this VLC 6G network by sending information. Now, anything with a camera, your phone, laptop, tablet, anything like that can be a receiver. So it can send all that information through LED lights, which they've been building that for years, and it can just send it to anything that has a camera. And that can be a receiver for that information. Does that make sense? Are you guys following along with that? I hope that's making sense. I'm trying to break it down as simple as possible so we all understand what's going on. Okay, so VLC gives off what they call waste energy, which they want to use the human body as an antenna to capture and recycle to power wearable devices and even larger electronics. So not only is this 6G communication about transmitting information and receiving information, but it's also can be used because there's so much waste energy coming out of these lights. It can also be used to capture and power things, and they want to use a human as an antenna to capture this. So they tested the capture of these RF signals, your radio frequency signals, as waste energy. So all that stuff, your RF signals, that's going to be waste energy coming off of it. And they did that by strapping coiled copper to different parts of the body, and it actually powered phones and laptops. So they've tested this. They've tested this where they've tried it. They coiled up copper as like a ring on a person's finger. They did it as a bracelet. I think they did it as earrings as well. The bracelet worked the most, and they used that when they tested it, that waste energy was received by the bracelet, and it was connected to the phone, and it managed to actually power on the phone. They actually managed to power on the phone to do that. Let's see, hold on. Make sure I got, where is it? I think I'm missing something. Oh, there it is. Okay. So just make sure VLC is visible light communication. That's VLC. So, but yeah, Sally, they want to use humans as antenna for this 6G network, which would connect everybody, and then it would also be used as an energy source. So they want to use us as an energy source. That's the plan for this. So they tested it, and it worked. Now, let's take a look at what the Nokia CEO said last year about the future of the phone. How is this going to work? Well, I've played this video a couple months ago, but I want to play it again so everybody knows what's going on, how this is going to work, and their outlook on this. So this is Nokia's CEO talking about this. Check this out.
I wanted to ask when you all think we're going to move from this form factor to something that's on your face, glasses, and when computing's all on the edge.
All right, 50 seconds. Who wants to answer quickly?
I think it will go. It will. First of all, it will definitely happen. I was talking about 6G earlier, which is around 2030. I would say that by then, definitely the smartphone as we know it today will not anymore be the usual kind of the most common interface.
Wow.
Many of these things will be built directly into our bodies.
All right. So if you didn't quite catch what he said, the question was about when are we going to shift away from a phone, and it's going to be more the next evolution, the next step. What's going to be the next thing where that interface or phone interface changes? Well, Nokia CEO talked about how he said 6G, specifically 6G. Those interfaces like the phones and the computers and the tablets and all that stuff, he specifically said that's going to be in us. It's going to be built a part of us. So he's talking exactly like what we were talking about, how that 6G is going to connect the embedded Internet of Bodies devices to the Internet of Things. Going to power that stuff through us, since we're going to be antennas. They're going to power everything through that. Hopefully that all makes sense. So you've got the overall Internet of Things technology, which is going to be the network that controls all things and people. It's the umbrella for it all. A branch of that is the Internet of Bodies. That stuff will be embedded into us. And to power that stuff, we're going to be antennas through the information that is sent through VLC. Hopefully that all makes sense. This isn't science fiction. This isn't something from a movie. This isn't, random conspiracy theory. This is stuff that they're doing. And remember, a good rule of thumb is the technology that they have is at least 10 years ahead than what we see now. And I would say they've already got it. That's what I would say. So that is what's going on with 6G. I know everybody has all their theories about 5G. I don't care about 5G. I think 6G is where where the evil comes in. I think that's where the evil comes in. So, okay. Sticking with the same theme of Internet of Bodies, with that Internet of Bodies ideological baseline of transhumanism kept in mind, so keep that that theme in mind, let's take a look at what's going on with Project Rosalind. I don't know if you guys have heard of this before, but this is very, very interesting, and this is connecting even more to this. Everything, and I say it all the time, but everything is going to be connected to the same entity. And it's everything. It's your city, it's your things, it's you, and it's finances. The Bank of England, we know, are preparing to launch a central bank digital currency. Rishi Sunak, he's the Prime Minister of the UK, confirmed this, and we know that central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, was one of his main projects, Sunak's projects, before the WEF placed him as the UK Prime Minister. This was a project he's been working on for years. He's one of the head guys that started this central bank digital currency thing. So he's somebody who's on top of it. He knows how it goes. And before the WEF placed him as Prime Minister of UK, that was his pet project. That's what he was working on. We know that on October 18th, 2022, the Bank of England put in a request for applications for CBDC offline payments and also CBDC sample wallets. So they're accepting applications for this stuff, and several of them went through, which will allow, and these technologies will allow them to, those technologies feature wallet locks, so they can lock people out of their wallets, wallet freezes, they can freeze the funds in them, ring fencing funds, and fund programming. They're able to do all of this stuff with this new technology that they've been working on with the CBDCs. These things will allow the Bank of England to have full view, tracking, and control of both the wallet and the funds. So we always talk about how they're going to have control over everybody's money. Well, they're going to have control over not just the money, but also the wallet itself. And so this is something, again, where I've got another video of somebody from the Bank of International Settlements talking about the future of what they're going to do with these CBDCs. I've played this video before. I'm going to play it again. This is straight from the Bank of International Settlements telling you what they can do with CBDCs. You're going to want to pay attention to this.
A key difference with the CBDC is that central bank will have absolute control on the rules and regulations that will determine the use of that expression of central bank liability. And also we will have the technology to enforce that. Those two issues are extremely important, and that makes a huge difference with respect to what cash is.
Straight from the horse's mouth, he just said they will have control over the CBDCs, and they can program when, how, and where people use their money. Straight from the horse's mouth. People still think that this is some type of conspiracy theory that we can stop. This is not a conspiracy theory, and we can't stop this. And they just told you what they're doing. They just told you what they're doing. They're at the point now where they don't have to hide anything. They don't have to lie about anything anymore. They can literally tell you what they're doing and people still won't believe it. They've got you killed with convenience. They got you killed with comfort. And this is the plan for the CBDC. So, this is all well-known information. We've talked about it all the time. Not just me. The other prophecy guys out there, they talk about this stuff. We know all this stuff. We know what's coming. But this connection of CBDCs and transhumanism plugged together via who we just talked about, the Bank of International Settlements, or BIZ. We're just going to call it BIZ from now on. And this is their Project Rosalind, which is now entering phase 2, which will begin February 2023. This is very important because this not only connects humans, the Internet of Things, the finances, but it also connects spiritual. So we'll talk about that here in a second. Rosalind, Project Rosalind is the two-pronged program for both central bank foundation, getting that foundation built, and the retail system for central bank digital currency. So as we know, there's two versions of CBDC. There's the wholesale, which is the central bank stuff, and then there's the retail, which is the stuff that they would give out to people and use as regular type of money. So Sunak's father-in-law, here we go with names again, Narayana Murthy, is the founder of Infosys, which is partnered with the WEF, and they're going to bring in digital systems that look just like social credit systems and biometric IDs. We've talked about Infosys a long time ago, but the programs that they're working on, they're partnered with the WEF. Programs that they're working on look identical to the social credit system as well as biometric IDs, your digital IDs, etc. This is where it connects. Well, this is where it connects to the human side of things. Let's take a look at the logo for Project Rosalind. This is the logo for Project Rosalind. You see something interesting there? The logo for BIZ's CBDC program contains a strand of DNA. Why on earth would a financial program have a logo in the shape of DNA? Things that make you go, Well, that's just the logo. Then there's the name of the program itself. That's not enough for you. Project Rosalind is named after British scientist Rosalind Franklin. Rosalind's her work focused on a chemistry and X-ray technology that was used to understand molecular structures of DNA, RNA, and viruses, as well as their sequencing. So not only is Project Rosalind the financial program, not only is the logo a strand of DNA, but also it's named after a DNA sequencing scientists. Why on earth would you name a financial program after DNA stuff? Well, this is going to be the connection between the Internet of Bodies, your biometric ID, and your CBDC wallet. It's all going to be connected. And this project reaches phase 2 in February. So, what do you guys think? What do you guys think? I don't know. I don't know if you guys have heard that stuff before. I don't know if you know about Project Rosalind or not. Either way, this is kind of wrapping everything up. This is connecting all the dots, putting everything together. Well, I talked about how there's a spiritual side as well that's connected to BIZ, the Bank of International Settlements. Well, BIZ needs to focus on this because they are a controlling, secretive organization that influences central banks. So they're the ones that are basically controlling all these central banks. You know how like we look at the WEF and they're controlling the governments? Well, BIZ is kind of the WEF for central banks. And so it's a secretive organization that influences the central banks all across the globe and is unaffiliated with any government, which allows them to work without any constraints to any banking laws or banking regulations. So because they're not connected, they're just some organization. Because they're not connected to any government, they can just roll right on through without any worry about law or regulation. Well, you'll notice quite a spiritual connection to Biz's HQ, their headquarters in Switzerland. Take a look and see if this looks familiar. On the right, you've got Bank of International Settlements Tower in Switzerland. Switzerland's neutral, by the way. On the left, you've got the Tower of Babel. Looks pretty similar, don't it? Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a lot going on with that. Also, if that's not enough, their history, because they were founded in 1930, their history also includes aiding Nazi Germany to acquire and transfer gold, and even assisted in targeting Jewish-owned businesses. So Biz helped Nazi Germany with their finances, but also helped acquire and basically just take Jewish-owned businesses as well. So this is very important that we understand that when we get into all of this stuff, I mean, we talk about the technology side of things, the financial side of things, all of this stuff. It's very important that we understand that this fight that's going on, this progression, the things that are happening, it's not just like the scripture tells us. It's not about it's not a fight against flesh and blood. It's a spiritual fight. This is spiritual warfare going on. This is the spiritual warfare that is happening, and it goes all the way back to even something like Bank of International Settlements. The symbolism, what they were involved in the past, how they're pushing things forward. This isn't accidental. You don't just accidentally create your headquarters in the shape of the Tower of Babel. That's not something that you just stumble upon. All of this stuff is on purpose. It's done purposefully. And it's very important that we understand that. And so as far as and keeping with that idea with the spiritual side of things and how it's a part of the technology stuff, well, we're seeing, of course, more and more with artificial intelligence and AI. We've talked about this a lot the past couple months. Never thought we'd be talking this much about all this technology stuff, but this is where we're at now on this timeline of things. And so the spiritual warfare, as far as this goes, involves artificial intelligence, or DI, demonic intelligence, and how it's connected to blockchain technology. Now, I'm sure you guys know all about blockchain technology, how it works and everything like that, but I think we need to have just more understanding of how AI will have control of the blockchain technology that's going on. With the spiritual warfare going on as far as AI or DI, I tend to call it DI now, it will control the blockchain technology, which is the same type of tech that will be involved with finance. Well, blockchain is also involved with other things. We've seen the explosion of AI in the past few years, and it's going to be a part of the one world economy. So now it's the idea of how far will the reach be? How far will it be able to control before the human steps in, before all of this stuff goes? Is it going to have full reign over everything? These are questions that I don't think we can necessarily answer quite yet, if at all, before the rapture happens. I don't know, but it's good to at least, put our hands out, get some ideas going, and all of that. So let's take a look at some surveys that were done as far as what's going on in the business side of things with AI. So according to a survey by Accenture, and a note on Accenture is their CEO, Julie Sweet, sits on the WEF board of trustees. She's on that top board right below, I called him Charles Schwab. The past time I talked about him, Klaus Schwab. But Julie Sweet, who is the CEO of Accenture's a mega partner with the WEF. Well, she sits on the board of trustees as well. So it's important that we keep that in mind when we hear things like Accenture. Well, according to a survey by them, 72% of business leaders believe that AI is critical to success of their businesses. 72%. A PwC report came out and said businesses are using businesses using AI have seen a revenue increase of 38%. A survey by McKinsey states 39% of companies using AI saw the investment return within a year. National Retail Federation says 70% of retailers plan the use of AI for customer service within the next 3 years. Deloitte Service says 63% of companies believe that AI will help them create new product and services. We're already seeing that. We just talked about how they're using AI to develop new medicine. They're actually creating new proteins that don't exist. This AI is creating new proteins that doesn't exist to create brand new medicine. We just talked about that a couple weeks ago. So now you've got demons in control of medication. What can go wrong there? Well, we're seeing that. Center for Global Enterprise reports that AI can help add 13 trillion to the global economy by, here's that date again, 2030. Then we've got National Association of Manufacturers found that 85% of manufacturers plan to use AI in the next 3 years. Why am I reading you all these random numbers and surveys and stuff like that? Because those are very large numbers of businesses and manufacturers and companies that are going to now be bringing in AI. And if AI is going to be DI, they're now going to have full infiltration and control of all of those industries, all of those businesses, all of those companies, and it can run all of that stuff. That's what's going on with this. That's why it's important that we understand the embracing of this stuff. We talked about the embracing of something just as simple as AI art, and we understand what is being done with that. I'm not going to go through all that stuff again, but we know that that in itself is not good. Well, that's something very simple that's being embraced by a lot of people, and people are just doing it for fun, and they're becoming addicted to it. I wonder why. Well, now we're seeing the takeover of AI in all of the industrial complex, the manufacturing, all of that stuff. AI can take over tasks for the human, and blockchain is used for transactions for not just crypto, but also supply chains, voting systems, and all financial services. If we want to go back to a quote by Stalin, it's not who votes, it's who counts the votes. Well, if you've got, we've already seen that all over the world the past few years. But now if you've got AI in charge of that, again, what could go wrong? How can these, wow, I got the handwriting of a doctor. Well, what control can AI and DI have over the systems? AI can take over not just supply chain records, record keeping, but can automatically control logistics of demand, supply, packing, shipping, and distribution. So it will be in full control over getting everything out, food, products, all of that stuff. This kind of goes along the lines of my thinking that these 10 kings that are coming are going to be industry leaders, just like what Prince Charles was talking about. If you've got, and Prince Charles, when he made that speech, he specifically said that these 10 industries can control every country in the world. So it's going to have full control over it. Well, if you've got AI here that is now helping these industries with all of the logistics of all of this stuff going out, it would make a whole lot of sense that these 10 kings would be industry leaders, because it can all work in tandem, in lockstep with this AI and blockchain technology. It's just another one of those things where I think it connects and it makes a whole lot of sense in that way. AI can automatically determine someone's credit score, social credit score. It can lock their wallets. It can freeze their funds. It can distribute funds. It can withdraw funds. And it can run an entire UBI system. It can run an entire UBI system. So if you've got AI controlling blockchain technology that's involved with these CBDCs, again, you won't have to have an army of people sitting behind computers watching a camera, turning people's scores up and down, locking wallets and stuff. You won't need that. If you've got AI in control of that entire system, you won't need all of those people. It can just do it all on its own, especially if you've got demonic intelligence in control of it. AI can control all customer service, reception, and secretary services as well. AI is also capable, keep in mind, all of this stuff can be used with blockchain technology as well. This is the relationship between the two. AI can, of course, manage all financial sectors from central bank all the way down to retail. It can also manage all carbon credit systems as well. It's very important that we don't forget about the carbon credit system on top of this. And then, of course, AI and blockchain is also capable of running all Internet of Things and Internet of Body technology, from smart cities to biometric IDs to your car to your entire house. It can control all of that all at the same time. And that's the relationship between AI and blockchain. AI can also, and this gets very, very creepy, AI can also control the judicial system through predictive crime watching. It can control the judicial system through predictive crime watching. So that's like the best way to put it is Minority Report. If you've ever seen that movie, it's all about predictive crime. And it can also be used for booking and record keeping. And they can even use AI as a judge and a lawyer. Looks like the cops are after me because they don't like what I'm saying. We'll let that siren go by real quick. It's the fuzz. But yes, even AI for judging and even for a lawyer, we see what's going. We talked about this like a year ago, actually. We see that China is utilizing artificial intelligence for judgment. That's been going on for quite a while now, actually. Then we also saw in Ukraine's 2030 video. I'm gonna actually throw the picture back up. Where is it? Number 5. Artificial intelligence in courts and e-notary. They talked about how that Ukraine 2030 is going to have that as well. And then just coming out now, I need to get rid of this picture. I apologize. There we go. Also just coming out is now the US is going to have their first AI lawyer take on a case. It's going to have this to take on a case for the first time ever in the world for an AI lawyer. We've seen AI judges, but this is for an AI lawyer. How it's going to work is it's going to be on a smartphone. You're going to put the smartphone in the courtroom, and the AI is going to listen to what is going on, and it's going to designate courtroom responses to the defendant through an earpiece. So the defendant's going to be wearing an earpiece, and the AI is actually going to tell the defendant how to respond and help them win the cases. That's actually just going to happen here in the US. It's actually going to happen. So now we're seeing that progression as far as that goes. If AI is indeed alive and sentient, kind of like what S. Matthew Lau said when he was talking about, or the stuff that he's a part of, but if AI is indeed alive and sentient, it will be able to have free reign over all of these systems, literally everything. And if it's controlled by demonic intelligence, like I firmly believe that if it's not already, it will be, it can do the bidding for the Antichrist. You won't need an army of people. It can do the bidding. It can be in full control. Just like that. Blockchain just creates a quicker filing system for artificial intelligence to basically store all the data and quickly and efficiently. It can get to it quickly and efficiently. That's the simplistic view of it. We don't have time to get into all the stuff, but that's the simplistic view of how that relationship can work, what it can be a part of, and all of that. So I hope that helps. Certainly hope that helps get an idea of how all this stuff is going to be connected and work together, their relationship. So, okay, I feel like I've been neglecting you guys. You guys have been talking it up like crazy. And I knew I saw somebody new in here. I don't think I've seen you, Reed Go Hawks. I don't think I've seen you. So, welcome. Glad that you're here. And looks like we've got a celebrity in our midst. Pete's in the house. What's going on, Pete? Glad you're here, man. Glad you're here. Cool. It's always cool to see ya. Hopefully you're doing all right, man. Hopefully you're having a good Tuesday. So, okay. Yeah, I've been kind of on a tangent, been going through a lot of stuff. So past couple of weeks, I definitely have not been getting the chat involved as much as I like to, but yeah, glad you're here, man. Yeah, so cool. Hopefully you're throwing in all the correct answers of all the stuff that I just got wrong, because I know you know much more about AI than I do. So hopefully you fixed all my blunders. Come, Lord Jesus, please. Yes, I'm with you on that one. With you on that one, Sally. Come soon. Come soon. Okay. All right. We're going to be moving on. Moving on to the last bit I've got. Usually, like, if you've been around for a while, you know, at the end, I like to take on some more spiritual type of stuff, for maybe get on my soapbox a little bit, get into a little rant, all that stuff. It's what I do. And so, with all of the stuff that's been going on as far as my takes and my stuff on the Chosen series, yep, I'm going to talk about it again. Again, this is very important. This is something that we do not need to wash over. We do not need to look the other way. This is very important. And I went back and I took a look at some of those comments again on that last video that I did, the clip video. Guys, we've got a discernment problem, and it's not good. And we've seen that as far as as far as this goes, with the infiltration of mystery religion getting in through, and the big one has been the music, specifically with like Bethel, Elevation, Hillsong, and stuff like that. And it's just accepted, because it's one of those things where everybody just pick and choose the good, and they don't care about the background behind it. They don't care about what these they're not even churches, these cults, what they're doing behind the scenes to pervert the modern church. And they don't realize that when you listen to that music, you use it in your church, you're paying them, you're funding these people to corrupt people, to lead people away from the one true Jesus. We've gotten to the point now where we really have to establish, what Jesus are these people talking about? Because they've created their own Jesus. There's 500, 5,000, however many you want to talk about, different Jesuses out there, but there's only one true Jesus that can save. And it's very important that we understand that. And discernment is very lacking now. That doesn't mean we're not going to fall into things every once in a while because we don't know, but we really got to be careful, and we must continue to warn people of this stuff. The acceptance of things that we're specifically warned about that is coming in these last days, the Laodicean church, the modern day church, all of this stuff, we're warned what is coming. And it's very important that we don't fall into just accepting it. We don't fall into just accepting it because it's entertaining and it's comfortable. That's very important. We're in this world now because it's all about being entertained. It's about having a show. and we can't fall into it. It's very important that we don't fall into it. Now, what is called quote unquote Christian media? And I always put those air quotes there because who knows now. But what is called Christian media is even more dangerous than secular media because it's there to give you a false sense of security. I don't know how many people just because it has the tag Christian or God or Jesus on there, they think everything is A-okay just because it has that tag on there, and they don't understand what's going on behind the scenes, who is involved with the project. That's very important to understand who is involved, what they believe. You really got to be careful specifically with what this media that calls itself Christians. I continue to talk about The Chosen because it by far deceives more people than any other Christian media out there. And again, quote unquote Christian, it's not Christian in my opinion. It's just got the tags on there, and I firmly believe it's going to be a tool for the one world religion. But this thing has got people wrapped around its finger. And that is a red flag. That is a red flag. If people are willing to see the music or see the people behind the show and see what's going on, and then just either blow it off or defend it in some type of way, that in itself is a red flag of what's going on. The signs are right there, but people continue to excuse them and defend them. So, I was sent a couple things. I mean, we've talked about all the different stuff out there. Dallas Jenkins basically confirming that it's about breaking down walls and combining religions. The actress who plays Mary Magdalene said it's the esoteric version of the Bible, the occultic version of the Bible. We saw that Dallas Jenkins came out and basically just joked about Jesus Christ on the cross, and he didn't care. There was no conviction, and a bunch of other stuff. We've talked about all of that different stuff. Well, I got sent some more stuff by a couple people, by a couple of you guys. Sarah and Matt, shout out to you guys for sending me this stuff. I don't have social media. I don't have Facebook and all that stuff, so I can't necessarily go and look this stuff up. But you guys sent me some stuff, and I appreciate it. Well, first things first that we're going to talk about, to give you an idea, there was a post on the Chosen's Facebook account. So this isn't Dallas Jenkins' account. This is the Chosen's Facebook account, and it's aimed directly at trolling a critic or a person giving feedback, and they literally put themselves in the place of Judas. This is on the Chosen's Facebook account. It's called Chosen Feedback, hashtag Chosen Feedback. Somebody said, this program really portrays Jesus, the man, and the Savior. Their response was, well, 30 pieces of silver was hard to turn down. Okay. Here's what's up. Here's what's up with this. These things are always more than they appear to be. They put themselves in the position of Judas, betraying Judas, of course, betrayed Jesus for 30 pieces of silver. They just put themselves in that position. Many people are going to look at that and go, oh, that's a joke. That's a troll job. I don't think so. I think the Chosen is just like Judas. I think the Chosen is just like Judas. They have shown themselves in more ways than one that they are in that position where they're giving up Jesus to gain fortune and fame. I guess there's really no other way to put it. And that in itself, a lot of people are thinking, oh, it's a joke. I don't think it's a joke. I think they are revealing themselves to be a Judas type character. Okay, moving on from that. We've got Jonathan Rumi, who of course, he's the devout Catholic who bows to the Pope, who plays Jesus on The Chosen. He continues to push the Catholic app Hallow and always connects it to The Chosen. There are tons of ads out there of Jason Rumi putting out his Hallow app. Here's one, just so you have an idea of what's going on.
Hey friends, Jonathan Rumi, the actor who plays Jesus in The Chosen, here to tell you about my newest collaboration with the Hallow app, the 54-Day Novena Challenge. The 54-Day Novena is a powerful prayer for all seasons of life, healing, relationships, discernment, and petition to Jesus through Mary. Download Hallow, the #1 Catholic app to pray the 54-Day Novena for your needs, and check out all the other 2,000 audio-guided prayers, meditations, music, and Bible read by me. Click on the link and sign up for free today. God bless.
Okay, that man who plays Jesus on a quote-unquote Christian show is telling you to pray to Jesus through Mary, to meditate, to recite certain prayers, to use the rosary, and he's pushing the #1 Catholic app. And I've seen other Chosen, literally from the Chosen accounts, ads for the Hallow app as well. If you're a Christian show, you are not going to be pushing Catholicism. Catholicism does not worship the same Jesus. It worships a false Jesus that cannot save. I also firmly, and I mean firmly, believe that Catholicism will be the foundation for the one world religion. And you've got Jesus, not Jesus, but the man who plays Jesus on the show, pushing that. That's just one ad. I've seen a bunch of different ads out there as well. Well, I've got more. Let's see. Make sure I got the right thing here. Yep. Okay. Well, we talked about the actor or the actress Mary, or who plays Mary Magdalene. She said it's the esoteric version of the Bible. Well, now we've got the actor who plays John the Baptist. We've got the actor who plays John the Baptist. His name is David Amato. I don't know how to pronounce that last name. He plays John the Baptist in the Chosen. Well, before playing John the Baptist, it was 2018 he co-wrote and co-directed this movie. And then in 2019 he played John the Baptist. So not very long. Before playing John the Baptist, he co-wrote and co-directed a movie. Well, yeah, just look. What do you think of that? Mr. John the Baptist co-wrote and co-directed a movie, Antrim. That looks pretty bad to me. So what is Antrim? This movie Antrim is about kids digging through hell to find a dog that died. So this is about a couple of kids who find the portal that Satan used when he fell from heaven, and they use that same portal to go and try and find their dog in hell. In the movie, I'm not going to get descriptive. I'll just say, in the movie, there's stuff like gore, violence, flashes of quick nudity, and a bestiality scene. Again, I'm not going to get specific. So Mr. John the Baptist wrote this movie a year before he became John the Baptist. Well, some people might think, hey, he did something bad. He turned his life around. He avoided all that stuff. Well, not exactly. Because while he was still playing John the Baptist, he decided he was going to promote his movie by saying, "It is with total surprise that Antrim is the #1 trending film in the U.S. right now on Amazon Prime Video. Written and directed by myself alongside my friend, da-da-da-da-da." Yeah, this last part's also pretty interesting. Also surprising, our little satanic film trends more than Jesus this Easter. Huge thanks for your support for the cast and crew and all the fans. Our little satanic film trends more than Jesus this Easter. He promoted that while he was on The Chosen. Again, if you can sit there and defend that, you need a spiritual check. You need a faith check. No. There's no Holy Spirit there. There's no Holy Spirit there. There's no conviction there. Not only the man who put that out and says what he says, but that's also Dallas Jenkins and what he has said and what he has done. That's also Jonathan Rumi, who worships the false Jesus. You can't consider The Chosen a Christian show when it is led by people, nobody who has the Holy Spirit, and it's led by Mormons and Catholics. This is a part of the molding, the melding, the combining of the religions. This is about, just like Dallas Jenkins said, breaking down the walls and combining religions. This is about getting people to accept Mormonism and Catholicism just because it's entertaining and it's comfortable. You can't pick the good from the bad. You can't pick and choose. When something is theologically incorrect, you throw the whole thing out. That would be throwing The Chosen show entirely out. That would be throwing all of your Bethel and your Hillsong and your Elevation and your Tribal and your Maverick City music and your Passion music and your David Crowder and your Toby Mac and your Lauren Daigle, all of that out, because they are not theologically sound. And it's not just they've got some things wrong, but everything is okay. No, these are the basic foundations of the gospel that they get completely and entirely incorrect, and it's not good. You throw it all out. All of it. Other things would be the Father Stew movie. I don't know how many Christians I saw, they were so ecstatic for that movie when it came out, because they believe that Catholicism, that movie was a Christian movie. It is not. It's about the acceptance of Catholicism as Christianity. No, it's not. You take that movie and you throw it out. You take all of this stuff and you throw it out. There's another movie, and I just brought up Lauren Daigle, which is perfect. There's another movie that came out a while ago that was called The Shack. Do you guys remember that? That was also, quote unquote, a Christian movie. Churches made events where they bought out theaters to go and see The Shack and do this stuff. It is not a Christian movie at all. I'm taking a risk playing this video. I edited it as much as I could, and I did a quick upload, and it said I did not get hit with a blocked copyright. I'm going to try and show it anyways, because I want you guys to understand what I'm talking about. This is Lauren Daigle, because she wrote some music for the movie The Shack. This is Lauren Daigle talking about some of her favorite parts about the movie, and this is what the movie did to just quick little video. Check this out.
Seeing all the different representations of God, I loved that he was portrayed as a female. I loved in the movie where he said, it was the female, she said, God said, I had to come to you like this.
Okay, hopefully I don't get this video blocked because of that. You can look that entire interview up. I didn't take anything out of context. I tried to cut it up the best I could, but with the same context. She just talked about how, because the movie was representation of man and woman, that they displayed God as a female. If you don't know, in the movie, God is a woman in the movie, Jesus is a man, and the Holy Spirit is a woman. That's how they display the Trinity. 2 women and a man. And she justifies it. This is where that identity stuff comes from. Identity politics. It's not really politics. It's a spiritual thing, but they call it identity politics, where it's all about representation, making sure the woman is displayed, and it's the same thing that we're seeing with this movie. That's what Lauren Daigle pushed, and that was what The Shack pushed out. It showed God and the Holy Spirit as female, when we know in Scripture it's masculine. All three of them are masculine. But that's what's going on. You can find the whole interview if you're interested. Just search Lauren Daigle, The Shack. It's like a 1.5-minute video. And yeah, be prepared for what comes on that. This is what's going on with quote-unquote Christian media. This is about breaking down the walls. This is about perverting the gospel. This is about contaminating and poisoning the modern church. This is Satan at work. This is mystery religion at work to guide people away from the one true Jesus. This is what's going on. Now, I want to put a warning. I'm not going to say don't go and see it. I don't know enough about it to really have anything on it, but I know of one of the actors in the new Left Behind movie that's coming out. I know this is making shockwaves among people. I just want to put out a warning. Use your discernment. You can look into it more if you want and whatnot, but one of the actors is a man by the name of Neil McDonough. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I have a terrible time trying to pronounce that last name. Neil McDonough. He's the dude that has the short blonde hair and really, really blue eyes. You can't miss him. The reason why I'm bringing this up and giving you a warning is because Neil McDonough is a devout, and when I say devout, I mean devout Catholic, that just this past Christmas was a part of the Mormon Tabernacles Choir's Christmas service. He was like a narrator or something like that. So I'm just putting this warning out there. Again, I don't know anything else about the movie. I know Kevin Sorbo's in there, which he says he's a Christian, but he's done a lot of other stuff, and you can look into it all you want. But I'm just giving you a specific warning when it comes to, man, that was my knuckle, sorry. Specific warning with who is involved with these projects. Neil McDonough is a devout Catholic who blended the religions and stepped into the Mormon thing. The same thing with Chosen. It's Catholics and Mormons working together. Well, he's a part of this new movie that's coming out. I'm just giving you a warning. Use discernment, and you can take it from there. The movie's not out yet. I don't know if it's sound, but I'm just letting you know one of the people who's involved with it. I don't know who else is involved with it. So that's why I'm not sitting here, I'm just use discernment and look into it more. Just giving you that. I want to at least put that out there. We really, really have to be careful when it comes to Christian media and Christian celebrities. I've talked about all that stuff and certain people and stuff, all of that and whatnot. But we can't take things at just face value right now in this time. We can't take things at face value in the world right now. Satan is pushing hard on anything that has the word Christian in it. And he's doing it subtly. Very, very subtly. We really got to be careful. We really have to be careful. As far as The Chosen goes, I don't know how on earth you can defend with what that show is going on. The show itself may be perfectly fine. I don't know. I've never seen it. But you know why I've never seen it? is because I see the people who are creating it, and that's enough for me to not watch it. That's enough for me to not watch it. Be discernful, guys. Be discernful. Be careful what calls itself Christian now. Be very, very careful. And if there's any question about its theological background, throw it out. The whole thing. Throw it out. All right, guys. That's it. That's all I got. And of course, I went a few minutes over time. I apologize. Been going over time the past couple times. I got to stop doing that. So that's what I got, guys. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of stuff going on. It's crazy. I just have this gigantic list of stuff to talk about, and because I only do a show once a week, there's a lot of stuff. We'll get to it though. Even if I'm a little late on it, we'll get to it. We'll get to it. That's for sure. Also, just want to throw this in at the end. I'm sure a lot of people know there's going to be the WEF Davos meeting that's coming up here real soon. We do need to watch and see what's coming out of there. But remember, when the right hand is doing something like this, where they know all eyeballs are going to be on them, always watch the left hand. There's something they're going to do something during this Davos meeting. So, yeah, watch what's coming out of that. But watch the other hand. Don't let Davos be a distraction. They're counting on that. So I just want to put that out there at the end as well. I'm glad I remembered that. I didn't write it down. So, okay. Usual stuff. Like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. Get it out there. Do all that. Glad to see the chat just alive. You guys were really killing it in the chat. Always cool to see Pete. That was cool. It's really cool having Pete come in here like that. So I look up to Pete. If you guys don't know Pete Garcia, make sure you check him out. I put him in my bobblehead adventure videos from time to time. So make sure you go and you check him out. He's awesome. He knows a lot about stuff. A lot more stuff than I do, so make sure you check him out. Like, share, subscribe. Make sure you follow me on Odyssey, Rumble, and Telegram. Telegram for exclusive stuff and updates on what's going on. Make sure, if you can, subscribe to my Rumble. I got to hit 100 subscribers so I can live stream over there. So if something happens to my YouTube channel, I can continue over there. And if you feel led to, I do have donation links down below. CashApp, Venmo, GiveSendGo. Only if the Lord leads you to do so. I appreciate that. And I think that's it. So, make sure put that up there. That's Pete's website. So make sure you head on over there if you don't know Pete. I'm going to leave you guys right here. And if the Lord does not come back by next Tuesday, and I don't know about you guys, but I pray that he does. But if not, same time, same place, we'll be here. All right, guys. Peace out. Maranatha.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.